What's up, YouTube? This is Frieren here, and this is going to be episode 13 of Frieren Beyond Journey's End. And last week, we got a little bit of we got a little bit of the sword and this little sword and the stone thing. The way it dictates that you don't need all this. You don't need some sort of God-given fancy legend, faith, or fancy decoration of sorts. You just what ultimately comes down to is the actions you do in real time, what you've achieved in life, what will make it worthy. Even if people don't remember it as well as the time comes, as to how the account of Hima, whether or not he pulled out the sword, was it changed, but it was to cater to what would be more, catering, or what people would more so like to hear instead of the original. I mean, you could just so I wouldn't be surprised if it turns out Julius Caesar, one day we freaking we reincarnate somehow, he remembers shit, and just like, oh, I didn't get stabbed by Boost. My dumbass was drunk and I fell off the balcony. that'd be funny as fuck. But not to that extreme, but it's you guys know what I mean. It's just like how things change over time. Yeah. Sorry about the noise. I don't know why the audio is up in the back. It's the usual thing. It's the usual gig of where mom and dad are basically just don't know how exactly loud the volume is in that time. Which I'll give benefit to is whatever. I didn't expect it to be this loud during the recording, but whatever. I guess I'll just talk over it as loud as possible. So I do apologize if that wrecks the mic at some point, but only if I feel like talking whenever I need to. But yeah. The Stark backstory was also great as well. It also ties in with the hero sword thing as well, because he didn't feel like it was worthy of it. He was dogged by it, and then we get his backstory, and then the truth behind it, that he wasn't that he was a coward, inherently a coward. He was just he was just labeled a failure. That stuck with him too. His brother did. His twin brother, Stoltz. He cared for his younger brother deeply, and he saw the potential. He wanted him to live on, to carry, and he did. I mean, he was a child, and there was no business of him trying to fight in that sort of conflict. It was a tough deal, considering that he was being referred to as a failure at the time. But when he was just a young kid, we can't expect someone to just start swinging out from the womb, right? But I mean, considering what I've mentioned before, considering the amount of danger in that world, at least at the time Stark was around, or they defeated the demon lord, but the minor dangers are still significant, are still very prominent. Like any remaining demons and demon armies, or even just other nasty monsters in general are all about. So yeah, it just I know. So I curiously looked at the wiki for Stoltz's status, and it says deceased. I didn't spoil myself more than that, but apparently, actually, I'm too familiar with it, but I didn't want to dive too further. It says it's funny, it's labeled deceased, but it wasn't confirmed I don't think it was really confirmed if he actually died. I feel like that's where I don't really trust the wiki much, unless if it's just there is proper confirmation. But one would hope Stoltz is alive somewhere, and he might reunite with Stark one day. He might not. I mean, even then, it's still okay. Stark, the emotional trip, and even if I didn't, I wasn't exactly tearing up, but it was like really, it was really good because it, it brings more context with Stark's character because he wasn't just cowardice wasn't his gimmick. Even if he's gonna have this through, for the most part throughout the series, it's just gonna be more because it's kind of ingrained to him in a way, to where like he's not gonna completely change, but he has a better, but he is at least a lot better off than how he started. And yeah, and like now that he has some companions like Frieren and Fern to assure him like, oh, you're not, it's like, oh, everything's gonna be fine and something like that. And of course he had that previous teacher in Eisen, even though it did end on some bittersweet, on some bitter terms, because Eisen was scared of him. It was still, he still has significance in life. It's funny how the whole time, like, he didn't think he was receiving any birthday presents, but his brother and Eisen were giving him birthday presents. And I'm not so sure what how they would knew about his birthday, but I think they just kind of, I think it was more like you know either Eisen kind of just knew and told the Freeman, or Freeman just kind of at one point asked him about it, and he still kind of remembers. I don't. It's a minor detail. I don't think it's too big. It's too much of a biggie. Um, I'm just gonna. I like that the last part about the questionable potion that Frieren has. I'm just gonna say this right now. It's more so because Frieren gets to be a lot more. Like when, of course, she's like literally at least 1,000 years old. You can fuck around as much as you want, and also like she's interested. She's curious. She's always been curious and trying to learn humans. I mean, she's still a little bit, a little passive because like that's how her nature was. That's how her personality is, even with when she was with Himel and the others. And she still has curiosity, but it also means that she can be told the most inappropriate of things. I blame Flam for giving her the idea with the potion. I think Flam was the one. It was just fucking around, and she just took that advice for granted. At least even Freeman knew she was scheming from some. She was low key scheming some shit. Fern was having none of that, and it's like no, Stark is not that kind of person. Which I'm glad Fern stood up for him in a way, even if he has that that Sun side to him that's trying to that's trying that kind of just views him as a as a little immature. I mean, that's fine when if you're kind of it's kind of a some people are just gonna be immature no matter how much they grow up, but some unless they go through some major change, and I don't and it still is just it gives it a sense of identity in the end. Like you don't try to force yourself to be mature unless if not everyone can do that. But yeah, that's all I need to say. So this next episode, I think from based on the preview I heard yesterday, from the other week, at the end of the last episode, I think we're gonna have a new character, possibly a new party member this time. But let's see. All right. But yeah, let's get to it. English subs, everything all working out fine. All right. Episode 13 in 3, 2, 1. Let's jam. Interesting. Hmm. I guess. Wait, he reminded me of someone. I can't put my finger because there's a bunch of people that come up. Like no one. Oh. What? I thought he was sitting somewhere. Never mind. Nah, I'm just gonna leave you here. At least it's not quicksand. I'm gonna die here, please. Pause. What do you mean by they're physically dirty? Which one? Which kind of dirty are you trying to get at? They're both physical. Just cast that one spell. Whatever you got, stash it. She really just had. It's just not my problem. This is like after that potion bit, I am not gonna be dragged into this one. Bro, I just watched Casual Geographic, and when I heard venomous animals, I just my part of my just said, "Fuck, it's the black mamba." Oh no! You're just gonna falls over. He just falls over the. Thank God thank God magic exists in that world. So at least it can stop something. Mm-hmm. Not you though. .20 per. That's a percentage, all right. That's what they all say, and then within the next hour they're dead. Maybe even less. Wow. Wait, that's a tub? How the Hey, fancy meeting you again. Seems chill about it. Oh, he probably has more advanced healing spells, or maybe like an anti poison. Hmm. But why not him? I like to hear the story on this one. It's like, why is he not the one being the priest here? Oh yeah. Speaking of, he is a priest. The connection. It's a smaller world than they think. You sure? Because of that one guy from before. Okay, so that's why he ended up being the priest himself. Because that he did because his younger brother doesn't want to do that. He wants to be an adventurer. I don't think it's gonna be that simple though, because he would have already left with someone. He already left at some point. My brain falling out my nose again. Wait. So that's where you're talking about this homophobia on Twitter, that mistranslation shit at the bar. Just like a certain someone. I wonder why. I mean, he's a priest by default, but his older brother is kind of head of it at this point. Oh, did he play along with him? Are you kidding me? Why you? You get strip naked? Oh no! Why y'all? Oh, they massacred my boy. You too. Hmm. She was put that made she remembers she was in a similar sort of position when she was asked like, "Oh, let's go on an adventure." She just was it because of Flamel? Wow. It's funny now that she's the one offering someone to go on the adventure. I think he'll join eventually. It's just not that easily. But why? Aw. Burn. How are they gonna get his stuff back? Oh, she had to pay for that Oh, okay. Thank goodness. Who else gonna hold it? Notice the difference that she's just at least holding it out to Stark so he could just grab it, but for him, she just flung that shit. Yeah, she's mad. She mad he dragged Stark into that shit. We was trying to. I mean, you were with hype there at one point, right? So so gambling is bad to you, but alcohol is okay. Yeah, gambling is kind of bad, but still, it, it's worse than alcohol in a way, but still. Mm. So it's kind of nice. We're kind of getting shit from someone else's perspective. He's kind of just this guy just wants to just. He didn't return, did he? Yeah, no, that's nothing of that. What else? You, I, me neither. Wait, what is with these small little? You can't even you can't even cut vegetables with that shit. My man Stark is. Yeah. Well, yeah. Literally a millennia older than you. You like what? he's, he's like, I'm grandma. Oh no, this is gonna be bad. What have you been teaching her? What have you been teaching this girl, man? What? Oh no! Alright, what's the real reason? Uh, well, only 10 years to you, but again, just don't think too much about what's in the past. Think about what's happening now. But that's all the more reason to keep following, to try to find him. So okay, that's the reason. Oh wow. Yeah, like what are you doing here? Why you just do? Why you're staying here just for me? What do you? You're better off somewhere else. You took those. Looks like you took those words for granted. Too well so far. Mm. We're, we're bros here, man. Looks like they got a new party member. Is there any more? That again felt too short. I felt like there could have been a little bit more. But I guess it's just focusing on getting the new party member. Alright, let me Alright, it looks like we have a little bit of a wrestle. Hold on. Okay, never mind. That's another great episode. It felt very chill too, though. They had that somewhat similar feeling direction-wise as, I don't know, something like maybe Aria, the animation, the Aria anime, kinda. It has that sort of just that sort of kind of chill vibe. It's not too laid back. It feels like more where, yeah, we have to these sort of, interesting dialogues where it involves people's relations and the character in question here, and I'm gonna pull his name up. Yeah, I just got lost. Hold on. Yeah, it's Sein. Oh, he is actually voiced by this guy. He is voiced by this guy, who also voices Andy from Undead Unluck. Nice. I wonder why his voice actually sounded familiar. Also, Gojo. So yeah, this guy is literally Gojo. I figured something was there. I didn't think about bringing it up at the time. It was an interesting encounter though. I like that they have a more they have a more adult, I think it's a little bit more of a nice variation of range. Like I know there's Frieren like the grandma, literally great grandma age. And then and then it's funny I'll say just because like, oh, take this little child away because she's still, childish. And that funny part where she was trying to blow the kiss. And I'm like, it's funny and all. It can come off a little silly comedy, but when you think about it deeply, it's more that Frieren doesn't understand, is still a little bit not. She's not really good with the wherewithals of how humans human societal standards work, of course. And of course, considering how she's been living most of her time after Flamel died, she hasn't been really interacting. So it's not like she knows about much about that shit. I mean, so it was funny, but at the same time, it kind of just, when you think about it a little bit more, it kind of speaks to how, lacking in the, lacking in know-it-all with how things are supposed to go. Because we know we don't do this. I mean, it got a reaction out of Ferdinand Stark, but for someone somewhat much older, like say, and I like that they're now having more, I guess, someone in their maybe late 20s or maybe in their 30s to have a kind of a nice little age range, I guess. I mean, it also speaks to where like you can have different personalities and also different mental mental mentalities as well. I don't know if I want to say mental age. That's another thing. So saying, I really don't. Where do I start with saying? It's like we have this childhood dream, right, where we want to do anything, but as we grow up, we just kind of, we start to experience things where just like some of us will hang on to it, some of us won't. And when the guy he was with, let me check this if his name was up there. Got a dumb childhood dream, and this is where we get some of his, a bit of his perspective too. Like I like some of the dialogue of where like Frieren and Stark were trying to, they're trying to get him to the party, and of course he's just like, I don't want to go. I'm the one going on this silly childish shit anymore. And it turns because it's just like my friend just left. There's a lingering reason. I think there's two. I think the part where he likes older women is more or less just is only partially true. Like that is more of a gag thing, but it's kind of like I feel like that's. I mean I won't put it again. I wouldn't put it against the possibility that it was like that, but it's more like there's a deeper thing to it. But it's also kind of a nice, but it also speaks to the nice drawbacks to Frieren's own, past memories, which is really nice. The fact that it also involved Hyder, a corrupt priest in all his right, and literally this guy was smoking, drinking alcohol, and gambling, and that's the. And they said how corrupt, and I'm like, and that's why I'm like, I wonder why. I know someone too similar. And the fact that same person was actually there at the time, much older, of course. So I mean, this probably wasn't too long ago. Maybe at around when Frieren and Stark were still kids. When probably Stark was still in his village. I don't know. I don't want to dive too deeply into that. The fact that he also has magic. Some people will have it differently. Where he has that sort of magic that can deal with poisons a lot more effectively than what Frieren and Frieren had. Which is kind of funny considering like Frieren was digging all through this, and she probably never thought about coming up with some sort of strong antidote. I guess it was more so because the setup for the encounter though. I mean, I wouldn't put against it that I wouldn't deny that she would have had one, but it's more like maybe she just can't conveniently come up with it. Or maybe like she never thought about getting one, but she just fucked around with the silly ones. Because of her curiosity, she never thought she never thought about something like a strong antidote or something like that. That probably was something that crossed her mind at the time. But that's besides me. Of course, there's some nice interactions with. You can really see the ship, even if it's not just Frieren and Stark, directly interacting. It's also with the comparison of how Frieren acts compared to how when she was around, when it was regarding Stark. Stark, at least even though she hung it by it, at least she's handing it to him so he can just reach out and take it and put it on. With Sein, who she's like completely unfamiliar with at this point in time, she just tossed that shit into him. Also, she called him out for dragging Stark into that. So yeah, that's a nice little detail in what they did. Not just with the end, like just the general material. I'm pretty sure that the author wants to do these little hints of like, yeah, they are together, not like a certain other shonen fandom ship that just didn't make sense. But I won't say what it was. I'm pretty sure you can take one guess and you'll know what I'm talking about. Anyways, but yeah, the one. I like how Frieren is just. Yeah, she's at least 1,000 years old, but she got that childish side to her, and of course it was because of how she was raised, how her upbringing was, her initial, or at least her initial one, and then she was kind of like solitary, and the reason why she insisted on wanting to recruit Sein is because she was in a similar position where she was refusing. Because when Flamel passed away, she's just kind of idling. She just, yeah, she wants vengeance, but it's just kind of like, I'm missing something, and Flam didn't teach me as much as she did, and she's just kind of just stuck there. At least that's what what can be interpreted anime-wise so far. And when Timo just kind of hit her head like, oh, come on an adventure with us, and she's just trying to refuse, just like, oh, I forgot how to even fight demons to begin with. It's kind of funny considering how easily she overpowered Aura. I mean, after she lured her, triggered her using that power that was a double-edged sword. But even then, like, it's clear the gap in power, the large gap in power between her and Aura at the time. And Aura is one of the 7 sages, which I'm pretty sure is like one of the highest ranking demons, aside from the previous demon lord at the time. Which now that I think about it, makes me do question how she was able to still how she was still around even then. Especially when they fought her back then as well. Only that they didn't permanently put her out of commission at the time. But I'm just gonna go ahead. And it also turns out that the guy was staying there. The guy was staying there because it's like because like he thinks his friend that offered him is already dead. It's been 10 years. Like, oh, he didn't come back. He's probably just dead already. And he also stayed, and again, this ties back to Hyther, and the fact that he stayed because his older brother said he wanted to maintain the village for him. That's why he's like, oh, I can't leave because otherwise my brother's role, what my brother would be doing would be just useless. And his brother wasn't having it. He's just like, you're sticking here because of me? Really? And it's totally justified that his older brother was upset. Because he doesn't seem like the guy that would just get easily upset. Even with that expression he had at the beginning, he didn't seem like a guy that would just go like that. But he did. I mean, because he means so much. Like, I'm the one I'm the one holding you down. Are you kidding me? And I have to think that may also have something to do with these little hand-sized bathtub, a sickle. What is that? I might be missing something on that one, but it's just more like, I feel like this is just more like a little gag of sorts because because maybe to try to get his brother to just not keep doing what he's doing right now, just wasting his time drinking, gambling, smoking and all. But whatever. I also like this little nice interactions he's been getting with Stark too. Because Stark just like, oh, finally, it don't just need to be 2 girls, 1 guy. It's now 2 girls, 2 guys. Don't worry, Sein's not gonna have. I'm pretty sure Sein's not gonna have any particular, intimate attachment for Frieren. He even called him like, oh, take this child away, please. After she saw Fern try to do this, well, a kiss thing. What? it just speaks to how out of touch Frieren is in terms of how it really goes. But the fact that, hold on. And then I can forgive Frieren and Stark because they're young. They're still young. And his dad, who is much older, he's just like, what the fuck? I don't find it. I just find it funny. But the fact that it actually had an effect on Himel of all people. But again, I still like how it ties back. It ties back to things, because you have to also think Himel is kind of have a a playful, maybe a childish side to him as well, to be able to have a reaction to that. And then like Hydra's sort of reaction is like, no. I just like, oh no, you bad, oh, you're a wicked woman. So it's like ah. It's like, what? That was so funny. But it's also a really fun, really nice episode. Even if it's not like a whole bunch of stuff happening. See, this is what separates them from whatever those shitty polls on those shitty anime weekly anime polls are, to where they only just say how it was hype, the draw and all. People just don't, and I get like it is what it is, but there's something more. It doesn't mean that a certain episode is necessarily bad because not much is happening. It's just kind of, it doesn't feel like much, but it's also like there's something nice. There's something really nice going on. I don't think this is gonna be a particularly remarkable episode to get up to the charts, but it's still a way better. It's still like a very solid segment, even if it's not anything too crazy in particular, other than that they got a new party member now. But yeah, let me see if is there anything else to say? Nah, there's not much else to say. But I think the main theme is this: like, it's not too early. It's not too early to try to achieve your childhood dream. I mean, not too late. My bad. Not too late to achieve your childhood dream. However, silly it may sound. But again, like, not everyone can have that luxury of pursuing it. Because when we grow up, and I'm not saying like go on a spaceship or whatnot. There has to be steps taken in order to achieve it, and don't think about the ones that are just completely unrealistic. But he decided like, I don't want to just. It's like, it's better off that I try to explore, take on this silly adventure than just get stuck in a rut here and rot in this village. And I'm glad someone like him is taking that decision, instead like most of us who are really still overly anxious about going outside or like taking that risk. Hey, at least he's going with one of the former members of the hero party from long ago. So yeah, I don't see a problem, honestly. Anyways, that's gonna do it for Frieren today, though. Really good episode. It's just like, it's kind of, I feel like these these kind of laid back episodes really do help when it's set, and help us prep for when the bigger stuff, for when the more important stuff, the more tense things do come up. Because Frieren's journey is not about trying to find new conflict or whatnot. It's kind of just trying to retrace your steps. Think about try to think things in retrospect, and like try to rediscover, try to find new things along the way. Try to make new, and it also helps that with Frieren Stark, that she can have that sort of re-experiencing of what before, and this time she'll have more of a wherewithal. She'll have more wherewithals. Like she'll have a better understanding of how her human companions were like, because again, she still like she does not have the she shows interest, but she doesn't quite understand humans, and trying to understand because of how she perceives time, because of her longevity, is also affecting it. It's kind of fun, which also points kind of funny, because like Sein is just like, oh, this is only 10 years too. Just kind of he kind of repeated what she said. But yeah, I think I'm not so sure how which major arc's gonna. I'm not entirely sure how the next major arc will build up. Like, will they just jump to it or whatnot, or how long will it last, at least anime wise? But whatever the case may be, I'll be there. So smash the like button, let me know what you think in the comments below. Follow me on Twitter, support the YouTube channel, join the Discord server, share this video around, all that good stuff. But that's gonna do it for today. Frieren signing off. See you next time. Take care, stay safe, y'all. Have a great day. Peace.